They call me Dan, the Lakers fan. And I got a master plan for the Lakers back to the promised land. Spread the vision through my people, cause we fans are equal. When we reach 20K subs, yeah, we gon' drop a sequel. Another Laker anthem track, watch me run it back. Got the keys to the city where my Laker jet.
What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy Dtlf back with another video, man. Got the latest from training camp. Gonna be talking about all of that and more. Super excited to be here live with you guys. Man, we got a lot to talk about. It's getting interesting. You know, Laker fans are starting to change their tune, especially those of us that have been very negative this summer. And I like it. I really like what I'm hearing out of training camp. You know, a lot of positive things going on. I think this might be a better year than we anticipate. It's still early, but, you know, I can't wait for October 3rd. By the way, guys, by the way, thanks, Tony P. What's up, brother? What's up, Steven? I will be at Staples Center, a.k.a. Crypto, October 3rd. So if y'all see me there, man, holler at your boy. Compliments on my boy Mookie. He flew in from the Bay and surprised me with Laker tickets, man. So I'm very excited to be there with him and my girl as well. And we're going to be there, man. You know, we got very close to floor seats. So I'm super hyped to see the Lakers firsthand when the season opens. And of course, I'll still try to do pre and post game. I'll see if I do it inside Crypto, or if it's too noisy, if I get there late, then I might do it on the ride on the way there. Whatever the case, man. But I'm super hyped for this season, man. And without further ado, man, we got some updates. All right, let's start with Mike Trudell. Mike Trudell updating us about Troy Brown Jr.'s back and Lonnie Walker's ankle. They're still working on getting back from injury. Dennis Schroeder has yet to arrive with the visa issues, unfortunately, but Ham expects him to integrate quickly once he arrives. So those are the latest updates as far as injuries go, man. He said, best intro ever. You guys like it? Yeah. Hey, listen, I had to change it up a little bit because, you know, I got copyrighted yesterday for the song I used on the other one. But again, man, very excited for the new intros. He said, off topic. You see the new Halloween Ends trailer? I have not, but however, I have seen Hugh Jackman in the new Deadpool trailer, man, and the little teaser, right? And it's gonna be crazy. Is it Dan brought back the anthem? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So Mike Trudell, for those of you just tuning in, Lonnie Walker, Troy Brown Jr., and obviously Dennis Schroeder still not with the team. You know, both of the Troy Brown and Lonnie Walker dealing with minor injuries, and Dennis Schroeder visa issues, but they should be integrated real soon. All right. The next update: Ben Wallace has been with the Lakers, man, to start training camp. You know, Ben Wallace was there. There was clips of him talking with Patrick Beverly. So you have to wonder if they're going to offer him some sort of a role. But I like this. Yesterday, we get the reports that we were talking to Quinn Snyder, that Darvin Ham's been talking to Quinn Snyder, and now we see Ben Wallace. So all of this is gonna. I hope you know they're there to lend their advice and really try to help the players with any sort of pressure they meet upon arriving here in Los Angeles. There is a big spotlight here, so it's a lot of things that they need to adjust to, and of course, you know, getting advice from a defensive specialist like Ben Wallace. Even though I respect this game, but I didn't like him obviously 2004 for obvious reasons. I still respect the fact that he's such a one of the better defenders in this league, man. Yes, sir. The anthem is back. If y'all tuned in just now, you know, y'all can check it out after the video ends. But yes, Ben Wallace. What do you guys make of Ben Wallace with you know, in the practice in the training facility with the Lakers? Yeah, hey, definitely, guys. Let's not forget the prayer. You know, prayers up for Florida, man. It's insane what's going on over there. Again, I wasn't keeping up with the news, but you know, a bunch of these comments updated me, so I was able to check it out yesterday, and it's insane, man. Prayers up for everybody out there. Hopefully, everybody's safe and out of the eye of the hurricane. So that, yeah. Mike Trudell also says that you know, some early observations by head coach Darvin Ham. LeBron is not from this planet. All right. That's a quote from Darvin. So I guess LeBron looks great. AD's ability to pass is something Darvin has really noticed. Russell Westbrook, you know, attacking the open spaces and the opponents not being able to build the wall. So I guess he's looking explosive in the paint as well. And then LeBron's ability to defend, you know, to collect defensive rebounds and bring it up. So those are just little things that Darvin Ham is starting to notice. I'm hearing nothing but positive vibes from this training camp. Everybody out here, man. Uh, My boy Jonathan said, man, I'm in the hurricane, but still here to listen to you. Prayers up, brother, man. Stay safe. Please stay safe out there, man, and keep us posted on the whole situation. Scary times out there, man. Scary times. Rest in peace, Coolio. No, don't tell me. Did Coolio really pass away, bro, just now? Oh, man, that's sad. R.I.P. If it's true, man, rest in peace to Coolio. That's tough, man. Another legend gone too soon. That's unfortunate. How do you segue from that? That's crazy. Ham also mentioned that Patrick Beverly, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Nunn, and rookies Max Christie and Scottie Pippen Jr. are standout as shooters throughout the early parts of training camp, according to my boy Watch Lakers versus Haters. So shout out to him for that tweet and updating us there. Wow, man, that's crazy, man. R.I.P. to Coolio, bro. That's, I mean, gangster's paradise. I mean, this dude is a legend, man. This dude is a legend for sure. I'll look into that. I can't really comment too much about it because I don't know exactly the situation there. But if it's true, man, rest in peace. Darvin Ham said that the Lakers will largely play a pick and roll scheme that he calls center field. All right. It says it has the big dropping back, trying to force opponents into tough contested 2-point shots, which is more of the modern, NBA style of defense. Guys that used to be mid-range killers like LaMarcus Aldridge in their prime used to kill and used to feast on those type of defenses. But nowadays, there's not too many mid-range killers outside of maybe like DeMar DeRozan and guys like that. But they'll also he says they'll also switch packages to take advantage of guys like Anthony Davis being able to defend guards in multiple positions. So that is good, man. That is definitely good. Does Russ start? I will get into that right now. We have updates on all of that. But again, we're hearing positive things. And as you can see, where last year, and I don't mean to continue to take a dump on Frank Vogel here, but last year we were getting very elementary school answers on the defensive schemes and offensive schemes. Basically, he'll say stuff like guys just need to try harder and collectively rebound. And like, yeah, that's common sense stuff. We know that. But this guy's actually, letting us know the schemes and all. And who knows what he's not letting us know, right? What stays behind closed doors. But look, the bottom line is, the Lakers are coming in with a plan this year. They look poised. The chemistry so far early on seems great. Now, it's still too early. I need to see this on the court when adversity strikes. That's when we're really going to be able to tell if we're having a great season or not. But, it's one of those things where so far everything, it sounds great. It sounds amazing. Now, as far as the starting lineup goes, man, look, check this out. Figuring out the starting lineup actually is low on Darvin Ham's priority list, all right? And this is a quote from Darvin Ham from today. He said, people get so caught up in who's starting and this and that and the third. I think it's really the minutes. Ham said, actually this was Tuesday. Sorry. Tuesday after his first practice as the Lakers head coach. And for me, he says, it's about who finishes the game as well. And this is what I've always told you guys, man. Sometimes it's about who starts short because you want to get out of the gates. You want to have the right starting rotation and everything right out the gates, right? But sometimes it's more important who finishes these games because that's how you get momentum. Whoever's playing good, hopefully Darvin Ham will reward him. So pretty much he said, this is just as important, if not more important, than who starts, all right? Also, he says, also Juan Toscano, and this is very indicative of what might be happening in training camp early, right? A lot of these players are starting to impress. Obviously, sometimes, the lesser guys on the depth chart move up during training camp or preseason. And this is what Juan Toscano said, right? He said, I know I want to start. He wants to start, right? Which is the right mindset. Everybody should want that. They should strive for greatness. He said, I'm not going to be mad if I don't start, but yeah, I would love to start if the opportunity is there. I'm going to try to seize it. So this tells me that Darvin Ham's already selling the equal opportunity, to every player so that they're hungry and they pull up and retrieve that starting lineup spot. Even though realistically, I think Juan Toscano has a better chance of finishing games at times when we need defense, right? Than actually starting them. But, one of those things, man, we really have to take everything with a grain of salt right now because it all sounds gravy, but we're about to see starting preseason. I can't wait for Monday, y'all. I'm going to be right there front and center, man. So hopefully if y'all see me at Staples Center, holler at your boy. Holler at your boy, man. I don't want to hear these stories like last time. Oh, I was too intimidated to come up to you, Dan. Just say what's up. He said, good coaches, good players, accountable. Ham is doing what a legit coach does. He sets expectations and engages players, develops, and have them competing every day. again, they're setting the tone with their defensive, scheme so far early in training camp. That's what we're hearing. And, I think it was funny. Patrick Beverly said this, he said, my team's been winning a lot. If you guys didn't see that video, I updated, Patrick Beverly said, my team's been winning a lot. So I don't know what to tell y'all, but, it's been a vibe. Listen, Patrick Beverly is starting to grow on a lot of people, including myself. And I hope that it translates to the court, because then he'll really be one of the fan favorites. But it still has a long way to go, right? It's all about actions. Actions speak louder than words. So I want to see it on the court. And I can't wait to see what the rotations, the lineups, and all of this from Darvin Ham, is going to be. What do you guys think? I want to hear from the chat right now. Who do you guys think is in the starting lineup and why? Or just tell me what your starting lineup is. I'm very curious to see if our thoughts match up, because again, we're going to have maybe different variations early on, because he's probably trying to experiment, but this is the time to experiment with different teams, different rotations, different minutes, and stuff like that, substitution patterns, training camp and preseason. Because when we get into regular season, I want to see some consistency, which is something we did not see last season, right? We didn't see no consistency at all. He said AD looks great. Yes, he does. And I want to talk about last season because there's something, that that just surfaced today about last season that I was not aware of. So yeah, I definitely want to talk about last season. I think that'll be interesting. He said, what's up, Captain Dan? Go Lakers. We're going to be better this season. I think so. I really think so. My boy said, Dan, the Lakers are practicing again at 6 p.m. today. Also, Max, Pippen, and Nunn being standouts surprised me. It definitely surprised me, especially Max Christie, who struggled in Summer League. But this is why I told people, during Summer League, don't write this young player off, because sometimes the NBA game, everybody's hungry and playing individual ball in Summer League, right? Because they're trying to stand out. They're trying to earn themselves a roster spot. But now that it's getting into, fitting into your role, I think, he might even fit in better if he develops that jump shot nicely. He might get some minutes because he's a defensive-minded player, very lanky. He's pretty explosive, for his size. And I can't wait to see what type of player they turn him into. Remember, we got Phil Handy, a player development coach expert, right? One of the best of the best. And then obviously Coach Ham and his coaching staff. And if you're getting, golden nugget type advice from guys like Ben Wallace who are coming around and guys like that, man, I think the sky's the limit for this team for sure. But, it's one of those things where I'm just like, wait and see approach. All right, let's see you guys starting lineups. Russell Westbrook, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Thomas Bryant, says Garrett. That's not bad at all. Dennis says Russ, Nunn, AD, Bron, and Bryant. Okay. He said, I won't sleep over Lonnie Walker? What? You mean you won't sleep on Lonnie Walker? Terrell says Thomas Bryant at center, power forward, AD, LeBron, Lonnie Walker at the shooting guard, and Patrick Beverly at the point guard. That would be lit if it works out, because Lonnie Walker's an athlete. He buys it on the defensive end and he knocks down his open shots. I can see that happening. But for now, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure what type of player he's going to pan out to be for this team. I think he's going to be more of a defensive guy who gets out and transition and finishes, and somebody who's a slasher, right? But I think defense might be something he needs to continue to work on. But I like him. If he uses his explosion, knocks down open shots, he can be one of the surprises of the season for sure. He has the potential to be this year's Malik Monk for us. And I think that's huge. If he fits that role, that's why they brought him here. He said Walker and Bryant getting the 2 and the 5 spot. Walker and Bryant, we'll see. I don't think anything's set in stone. Basically, they said it's up for grabs right now. From what I'm reading, there's no defined role right now in the rotation. None. But I like your guys' starting lineups. Roscoe says, no coach could work a great defense with the old team we had last year. Frank was a good defensive coach. All of a sudden, he was bad. Nah, he didn't have the tools. Coach Ham will do great, I believe. I think you're partially right, but also it wasn't just the tools, man. It was some of his rotations that were very questionable. He had guys like Jay Huff on the bench. He didn't even give him a shot. And instead he was starting guys like Kent Bazemore, who shouldn't even be in the league, to be honest, the way he's been playing. Not that I'm not the gatekeeper of the league, so, I wish him the best. But I'm saying, dude is lucky he has an NBA job the way he played last year. And this dude was starting for us for like the first 8 games or so. That was all bad, Roscoe. So there was some very questionable calls, and I'm not going to give him the same pass you just gave him I tore him a new one last year, and he deserved that because questionable timing on the timeout calls. He would let other teams go on 10-0 runs before he even called his timeout. He would never, I think he forgot how to use his coach's challenge because there was many times where he should have used it and he did not. And then again, the rotations, putting guys like Montrezl Harrell the previous year in the doghouse and not playing him when clearly he was one of the better bigs we had off the bench. And then at times playing him out of position, going small ball. I mean, a countless amount of mistakes he made. And for those of us that watched every game, it was truly excruciating. At times I wanted to tear out my eyes, man. It was bad. So I'm glad he's no longer a part of this team, but I'm also happy he's going to get another opportunity, right? I just think he was, he was obviously praised for the championship we won in 22, and rightfully so. But, when you take the praise, you also got to take the heat. And that's what happened when he got exposed. Obviously, the roster didn't help, but this man, his adjustments and his rotations and lineups were very, very questionable. I think a lot of the chat can attest to that. Definitely RIP to Coolio, man. That's news to me. It's a shame I had to find out like this on the stream. He said, Dan, expect Bron and AD to sit out the first game while Ham are watching closely to see who looks the best. I'm not sure, man, because I think this year they want to get all the reps they can to see what works best, right? That's what I think. The one thing about Dan, the Lakers fan, is he will cook these Laker coaches. Fluke Walton wasn't I'll definitely cook him, man. I'm a truth teller, bro. I'm a truth teller for sure. Listen, people told me Luke Walton was going to be a good coach and I was going to regret the Lakers firing him and this and that. I said, no. I'll be shocked if he keeps his job very long in Sacramento. He was not – listen, he didn't put in the work Darvin Ham did as an assistant. Darvin Ham has been an assistant for what, 10 years now? He's been an assistant for a long time, definitely deserves this head coaching opportunity, while Luke Walton only was 2.5 years and with the Golden State Warriors, and that was enough to like make him a coveted coach. It was very questionable. As far as Frank Vogel, his best job he's ever done, obviously the 2020 Lakers, but he also had a great coaching staff with him. And then I think he was phenomenal with Indiana based off of what he had with Roy Hibbert, Paul George, Lance Stevenson, and those guys. But listen, I told you guys Frank Vogel was going to get fired. Some of you guys didn't want to believe me. They said it wasn't his job. I said, listen, I'd be shocked if he makes it past the summer. Now, I would have been furious, to be honest with you, because after the job he did last year, man, I didn't want him on this team no more. And now we got a breath of fresh air. Now we got Darvin Ham, somebody who's very poised as a head coach, somebody who knows exactly what he wants out of the team. He's not indecisive. I promise you, he'll probably lock the rotation like third or fourth game of preseason. We're gonna get a real glimpse of what the team is kind of gonna look like, right? But probably by regular season, you'll have the full picture. Unless, barring any crazy injuries or any sort of, players going on a slump or anything like that. But I expect to see consistency because this one thing I've always told you guys, Laker Nation, is that you cannot expect, and I said this with Kuzma, I said this with, when we had the young core as well, you can't expect for the players to be consistent if you don't give them a consistent role, right? It's hard for them to, one day you say, I'm starting Kuz, and he drops 30, and then you bring him off the bench. It's like, wait a minute, I just had a great game. So it's very confusing. And they don't know how to settle into their role when that happens. So, again, I did not like Frank Vogel. When we first acquired him, I don't know if you guys remember, go back and watch the video of when we first got him. I said, he's not our first choice, but, I'll give him a shot. And I like him. I don't love him. He's definitely an upgrade to Luke Walton, and he was. But how much of an upgrade? It was enough to get us over the top between him, Jason Kidd, and the rest of the coaching staff. They got us over the hump. And obviously it helps that you had a Rajon Rondo, a LeBron James, and basically coaches on the floor helps. Definitely made him look good. Now, I do agree that he's more so specializing on the defensive end. But if you lose the locker room, you ain't specializing in no end. It's the end of your job. So that's what happened with him. He wasn't a powerful enough voice to take the heat, and he had to get out of the kitchen. It's that simple. And it's no hard feelings. I always said I wish him the best. He seems like a great guy. And thank you for the championship. He played a part in it for sure. But, don't let the door hit you on the way out, man, because this is just, at this stage, it's just he wasn't suited for this, the pressure that LA brings. Not many are, right? Listen, and I also said this when we acquired Darvin Ham. People thought I was crazy, but I've been telling you guys, man. And, I usually call these things early. I said Darvin Ham might be the best coach we had since Phil Jackson. And I still stick by that statement, right? And what I mean by that is obviously Phil Jackson's the best coach we've ever had. All right. But, and I'm not saying Darvin Ham is on his level, but I'm saying since Phil Jackson, since he retired, Darvin Ham might be the best one yet. Right. Since that time. Now, don't mix my words up. I don't want to hear no blasphemy in the comment section. That is, I know that's a lot of pressure on Darv, especially since Frank Vogel already won a championship in 2020. But I think he can handle that pressure. And you can see already this guy's gushing with all kinds of basketball knowledge. And he has a true command of the locker room that even guys like Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley, who are usually stubborn, are starting to fall in line. So that is the good news here early. I mean, where you guys seen all the videos I've been uploading, and I'm going to be giving you guys more Laker content besides the live streams all year round so you guys can stay in the loop, right? So subscribe if you already have it. Got you guys covered all year long. He said, bro was the third choice. He was. We're talking about Frank Vogel, right? Now, that was the difference between that coaching hiring process and this one. This coaching hiring process, we moved swiftly. We got our one of our top targets, right? And we made sure that, you know, we're going to live with it. We're going to live with the results. He said, hey, Dan, I'm just tuning in. Who's your shooting guard starting lineup between Austin Reeves, Patrick Beverley, and who's your center starting lineup between Thomas Bryant and Damian Jones? Look, man, I want healthy competition and may the best player win. But on paper, I would love to start Austin Reeves simply because of his size. And he also shows that he can be a great defender. I hope Patrick Beverley and defensive veterans rub off on him like that. You know, I hope the coaching staff continues to develop him, because if he does, remember last year, they try to bully our rookie, man, Hillbilly Kobe. They try to back him down, but he held his own, even blocking some of these star players like Klay Thompson and others. So he held his own as a rookie, and I would love to see the growth. And I think guys like Darvin Ham, obviously Phil Handy, and the rest of the coaching staff are going to be crucial to his continued development. But I would love to start him. However, if Patrick Beverley outplays him, and that's fine. Even though I don't see Patrick Beverley as a shooting guard, I'd be cool with that. I much prefer Pat as a backup 2 or 1 if I had to play him there, right? But I've even heard they're going to play him at the wing. Now, as far as Thomas Bryant, he's one of my favorite acquisitions this summer. And, you know, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what he's got for us in store, because I think a lot of Laker fans are going to love him. And any player that plays extremely hard for us, you know, that's what we love. We want to see their heart on their sleeves, you know. He said, bro, Dan, don't compare him to Phil. I didn't compare him to Phil. I told you exactly. Don't confuse my words. I said the best coach since Phil Jackson. That's what I said, bro. And again, people not listening. You know, people got to clean out their ears. Since Phil Jackson, I feel like Darvin Ham will be the best coach. And I think he will not only play out his contract, but I wouldn't be shocked if in the near future, you know, he gets an extension, right? Because I really think highly of this guy. He knows what he's doing from the get. Has the experience. He's been here before as one of the assistant coaches as well, you know, on the coaching staff when we had Kobe way back in like 2012, 2013. So he's been a part of this greatness already. He knows what to expect. He knows what the fans demand. And he's been saying all the right things. It's been music to my ears. I'm in heaven right now as a Laker fan. So let's hope that little honeymoon phase continues into the season. Hey, Dan, I'm just tuning in. Who's your shooting guard starting lineup between Austin Reeves and Patrick Beverley? That's the one I already answered. My bad. Okay. Thomas Bryant, and just short answer. Thomas Bryant, Austin Reeves. He said, bad take, Dan. It's early. Haven't even seen Coach his first game yet. I'm telling you, this is just a gut feeling. This is just a guess, a stab in the dark. I should have saved this for an episode of hot takes, but I think I still might do that. The reason I say this is because Darvin Ham's personality is perfect for Los Angeles. He's meant to be a head coach here. And I think, you know, if he gets the X's and O's right and the rotations and stuff right, I think you guys are really going to love this guy. So it's not far-fetched, though, to say that he is the best coach since Phil Jackson. To be honest with you, no disrespect to Frank Vogel, but he had an all-star coaching staff when we won that championship. And when he lost them, I think he really got exposed. You see other coaches, you know, like, and I hate to use this example, but just, you know, for example's sake, you seen what Tyronn Lue did with the stinkers over there. You know, he was able to at least get them into the play-in tournament, even though Kawhi and PG were out for most of the year. So, hey, LA Sports Live, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. He said, too bad Dennis is not there yet. It looks like he's going to miss most of training camp. Well, you know what? The good news is that my man was overseas getting it in, man, and he was definitely killing it. So, you know, he's not going to be too cold on the basketball aspect. But, however, you're right, man. We need him with the team ASAP because he needs to learn all the different defensive and offensive schemes, right? So I agree with you there, bro. Thanks so much for the super chat, bro. Much appreciated. Max says, who do you want for the final roster spot out of the training camp? I want Jeremy Lamb. I want whoever plays their part best, all right? Whoever comes in and shows they can be an impact role player. Because if nobody really stands out, I really truly believe the Lakers might go into the regular season with 14 players. We got plenty of guards already, so I'm not sure I want Jeremy Lamb, even though they probably play him as a backup small forward. I prefer, like, a defensive-minded wing. Somebody said Mo Harkless if he gets bought out. That would be solid, right? Josh Jackson, if he doesn't make the training camp roster over there in Toronto, that would be great. Somebody of that sort. Man, I really wish we didn't trade Stanley Johnson because he was perfect for this team. But it is what it is. Now, I'm really counting on guys like Troy Brown Jr. to step up if they get heavy minutes, especially, and Juan Toscano Anderson, who listen, based on what I'm hearing from my boy Juan, he has high expectations for himself. So he's setting the bar high, and I hope he reaches at least half of his expectations, because if he does, we're going to be very happy with that player. You said we got enough guards to make up for Dennis being absent. That is true, but I don't think he'll be absent for too long. If he's trying to fix a visa, him having a job here with the Lakers definitely should, they should figure that out sooner rather than later. So, it's one of those things where I'm not really going to stress out about it or lose any sleep. We should be fine. What's more awesome is that our guy, Kendrick Nunn, seems to be practicing at full speed with the team, and he looks like he's getting ready to go at the start of the season. So I'm excited to see what he could bring to this team. He was another combo guard, who can score. And he's more on the defensive end as well. He's not an elite defender by any means, but he can hold his own. And, he can get out in transition when healthy, finish at the basket. He's kind of like a poor man CJ McCollum. Obviously, he's not that, but like a really poor man CJ McCollum, which could be really good for this team. We need those kind of guards, right? Hey, Carlos, appreciate you, Carlos. Thank you, man. That's really kind of you to say. Christopher says, hi, Dan. What do you think about the Lakers 2020 championship versus Golden State Warriors now in the Western Conference Finals? Wait, what do you mean? This question is a little confusing. What do I think about the 2020 championship? I'll start with that part of the question. I think it was extremely impressive. All right, and let me tell you, that might have been one of the hardest championships to win in history, because they had to go in there and, they were under heavy duress. They had to leave their family and all of that. And, some of those players didn't even want to be there. So to be able to compete at the highest of level, and we've seen some high-level competition there. We've seen some 50-point games. We've seen some amazing nail-biters. I mean, some of the best games were in the bubble. I might say that the bubble playoffs were more entertaining than last year's playoffs. I could say that, really. I really could. There was too many blowouts for my liking in last year's playoffs. But all in all, I don't like to really compare years because there's always different circumstances. Injuries are a part of the game and this and whatnot. So no excuses. They're both impressive. But obviously, I'm biased. I'm sticking with the Lakers one. As far as the Warriors, I mean, they did their thing. You got to give them props. They went up against a young, hungry team, and they came out victorious. And like I said, I gave Steph Curry his flowers. I was holding back because I needed him to have this type of a playoff run where he really was the guy, right? And he did it consistently, and he ends up winning the Finals MVP, rightfully so. So congrats to him, man. But now I want us to bust their ass when we face them. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm thinking if the Lakers get it right, and I don't know if this is a team that'll get us to the Western Conference, but if it is, I'm all for it. If not, still hearing a lot of murmur and a lot of rumors about Miles Turner. So whatever it takes to get us there, that'd be great. But I would love to match up versus those guys. Can you imagine another playoff series between LeBron and Curry? Two of the best going at it. I think that is a mini rivalry within itself that we don't talk about enough. So that would be fun. And then obviously LeBron is about to break records this year. We're talking about the all-time assist record. He might break it this year. We're talking about the scoring record. He's definitely breaking that this year. So a lot of things to look forward to, and hopefully it all ends in competing for a championship. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, right? He said that Orlando bubble basketball was different. Right, Humble Sports? That's what I'm saying. People want to discount it, but that's some of the best basketball I've seen. Now, I don't know if it's because I was locked in here with COVID and, that pretty much saved, the whole year for me. But either way, that was some entertaining basketball. I was talking to my coworkers daily about the playoffs from how good it was. I mean, we saw some crazy performances. So I didn't mind it at all, to be honest with you. I think the haters that didn't win that championship are just pissed off and they're mad, right? So they try to discredit it. But in the end of the day, it's hanging from the Raptors just like the rest of them. Just like the rest of them. And by the way, I did want to talk about this. A new story surfaced today about Anthony Davis. He said it wasn't just his knee and ankle that were hurt last year. His wrist was too, affecting his shooting. He said his shot is back to normal and he's ready to let it fly. So yes, Laker Nation, listen, music to our ears. No excuses. This is a make it year for Anthony Davis, man. This is one of those years where he got to come out and he got to leave everything out on the floor. All right, especially in the postseason once we get there. And I'm gonna speak it into existence. We're gonna get there. I'm liking everything. I'm liking the vibes, the coaching schemes, everything we're talking about, man. Listen, I'm gonna withhold some of my expectations because I want to see what the rotations look like, the chemistry on the court and all that. But at the end of the day, guys, it feels amazing. And again, shout out to my boy Mookie. He came all the way from the Bay to take your boy to Staples Center. And we're going to be watching the very first game of the preseason, man. I'm going to be there. So holla at your boy if y'all see me, man. Any questions, man? We basically covered what I wanted to cover for the day. Hey, Jordan Smith, it's my pleasure, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. He's feeling 100% healthy, too? Yes. Big time. Big time. Thank you, Dan. If Kobe was still alive, he would probably be coaching LeBron and the Lakers right now. You know what, Christopher? That's something he said he never wanted to do. Like, he left it all on the court, and we appreciate him for it, man. God rest his soul. But he said he would never want to return to basketball in any way, shape, or form. I remember, everybody was hoping Kobe make a comeback and play with LeBron James and all this and that, but he never even considered it, man. And that's the beautiful thing about when you give it your all and you leave it all out there on the court or the field or your job or whatever you do, whatever profession, you never look back because you gave it your all. And Kobe was the type that you can either give it your all or he wants no part of it. And since, his body was already hampered and all that, and he also mentioned how he would be very impatient for coaching. And that tends to be the case with superstars. We saw what happened with Magic Johnson when he coached the Lakers back in the 90s. Right? It didn't work out, unfortunately. As great of a basketball mind as he is, he didn't have the patience because star players expect everybody, including role players, to elevate their game to a similar level to they did. So they're not very understanding and very patient with their players. So it's understandable, but man. Is it, Dan, you got a new camera? Quality looking better? Nah, man, but what I did was I want to go buy this thing to connect my Ethernet cord so that the it doesn't get choppy no more. The internet is never going to break down on me. It's a full-time grind, man, all season long. So I look forward to it. And again, man, the pregame and postgame won't be the same for October 3rd because, like I said, I'm going to be out there with my boy and my girl out there in crypto. So, I'll figure out how I do it. I'm either going to do it on the road in the car, or if we are early there at crypto, I might give you guys a nice little tour, man. I might do the live stream from crypto. So, I look forward to that. Ryder says, Dan, talk about Scottie Pippen Jr. Well, I mean, he's been one of the shooting standouts so far in training camp. I really like what I saw from him. He has a lot of poise when it comes to, Scottie Pippen Jr. He has the potential to be a 3-and-D guy, also a floor manager. Now, he turned the ball over a little too much in Summer League for my liking, but I do expect as he continues to get his feet wet in the league, in the NBA, he'll get more acclimated to the actual game speed and slow down his game and let it come to him. But I liked a lot of what he said. He has a lot of poise. He's a fiery guard, very feisty, similar to his dad on the defensive end. I like that. And look, I cannot wait to see what that kid pans out to be. Max Christie as well. People wrote him off. I told you guys, that kid, all he needs is a face-up game and a jump shot, which is the same thing we said about THT. But they have different tools, and he already has a defensive end going. He's a dog on the defensive end from what I saw early in Summer League. So let's see if that continues to translate to the actual NBA. And Cole Swider as well. Now, he's somebody who really needs to work on his lateral movement. Obviously, he needs to get more in shape, as well as his defensive prowess and his instincts, because he was getting cooked in Summer League. Imagine what will happen to him in the league. However, having guards like Patrick Beverley and big men like Thomas Bryant and Anthony Davis could definitely help buy him some minutes in the court. Because if you get beat off the dribble, guess what? You're going to have some anchors down low. So I look forward to all of that. But it's going to be awesome, man. Cypress, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. We got content year round. If you guys are new to the channel, listen, we do pre-game, post-game highlights. I do music. A new Lakers anthem coming at 24K. Just a bunch of stuff, man. A bunch of stuff. We if you're a Laker diehard fan, it's the channel for you, man. It's the home of the diehards. So make sure you guys do hit that like button, that subscribe, and you know what? I forgot to put up my little banner. I forgot to shout out my little sponsor real quick, man. Shout out to Prize Picks. There you are. All right, and now's the perfect time to give it a shot. Right, 100% deposit match guaranteed up to $100. Now you don't have to deposit $100. It could be 10, 20, but they'll match whatever you deposit for your first time. And then, hopefully you guys get that paper, man. Believe it or not, I've won since I started using it, about $400, and I just use it casually because I'm not much of a gambling man. I play a lot of fantasy sports though here and there. I play low and try to win high. So that's how I've been able to do it. Enrique, thanks so much for the super chat, my boy. He said, what do you think of this lineup, Dan? 1, LeBron. 2, Patrick Beverly. 3, JTA. 4, AD. 5, Thomas Bryant. And the team needs shooting. We need to give him a chance to Cole Swider. I think he's going to have opportunities for sure. Now, at first, it might come during garbage time, but let me answer your first question. What do I think of that lineup? So you will have LeBron at the point, at the 2, Patrick Beverly, at the 3, Juan Toscano-Anderson, 4, AD, and 5, Thomas Bryant. I think you might actually see a similar lineup at some point in the season, maybe to close games, right? Maybe to close games, because Darvin did mention how it's equally as important on who closes the games rather than who starts, right? So that could definitely be a variation of a team that closes in the fourth quarter. I like it because they can switch multiple positions defensively. Obviously, I've always been a fan of LeBron at the point guard, but we already have so many guards. I'm not sure even though he's going to do a lot of ball handling and a lot of playmaking, I'm not sure we'll see him actually start at the point guard. But I do like him at the 1. Patrick Beverly as a 2. I prefer Austin Reeves there. And Juan Toscano as a 3 is nice, but I think he's going to be more of a bench player for the most part, unless he really impresses. And again, his confidence is at an all-time high based off of his presser. But AD at the 4 and Thomas Bryant, I would like that to be a staple night in and night out. So I think those two together are going to surprise the league, man. We have a really hungry young center this year in Thomas Bryant, who, again, if you guys saw him his rookie season, I always used to rave about him and said, this kid's going to be nice. I think he's a Lakers secret weapon. I think they're concealing him. That's why they sent him down to the G League where he was killing. And he could also floor space from time to time. So he's going to bring a little bit of a different game than what Dwight Howard and JaVale brought. They were more rim protectors, right? And they did the dirty work. Now, obviously, Thomas Bryant can do that, but he could also space the floor, hit a nice little mid-range shot here and there, step out to the three-point line. So if he's healthy, guys, I like for him and AD to be a staple at center and power forward. Now, at times, we will get Anthony Davis, depending on matchups, at the center position to close out games. But for now, man, I really like, your lineup, bro. It's pretty nice. It's something I can definitely foresee down the stretch of games, especially. He said, I didn't find Swider's defense to be as bad as people make it out to be. He just needs some proper coaching. You know what, Darth? It was pretty bad, man. He was out there looking like Brian Cook, and that's an old reference from my OG Laker fans, man. But, his shooting can definitely outweigh his poor defense in the beginning, and hopefully he improves his defense like Kuzma did. Kyle Kuzma, when he first came in the league, he was solid, but he became a great defender eventually, and, he became a jack of all trades. So, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I'm going to wait and see with him. I don't want to place a lot of expectations on undrafted rookies and stuff like that, but let's see what happens. My boy Nick said, check out my last comment. He said, the people who discredit the bubble forget or try to remove that the Lakers ran through the league before the shutdown. That is true. At one point, we're at the top of the league for sure. We're at number 1 before injuries and stuff. He said, Sixers, Nuggets, Clippers, Bucks, and the number 1 seed and the best duo. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Nick, listen. Bro, you definitely know ball. For sure you know ball. So, yeah, I agree with your comment. He said, Dan, Lakers posted another workout video 7 minutes ago. I can't wait to post it on this channel when I get off. What's up, Tasia? What up? Good to see y'all, man. Good to see all of you guys. But, yeah, listen, Anthony Davis wasn't basically, it wasn't just his knee, his ankle. It was also his wrist. So, listen, man, it's one of those things where I'm just like, wow, like if he's really healthy and he's ready to go, it's going to be a freaking nightmare for the opposition. And I'm here for it. I'm here for everybody who slandered him. They put him in the, listen, There's no way Anthony Davis is not a top 10 NBA player on anybody's list. All right. No way. He's just too talented, too skilled, and he's a champion. Put some damn respect on his name. All right. There's no freaking way. And so to that, I say, I hope he destroys the league and he comes in with a vengeance and everybody has to eat their words, especially ESPN and Fox. They're the most disrespectful. That's what I want to see the most. That's what I want to see. Any chance we get a wing before the season starts? There is a chance. But listen, whoever it is, whether it be Dwayne Bacon, Matt Ryan, these new little training camp acquisitions, they have to really impress in order to acquire that final roster spot. I'm talking they got to be the best at whatever position they're playing. And maybe then they might secure that spot. But I just don't expect it, to be honest with you, man. He's a top 10 injury prone too. Come on, Felix. He's on our team, bro. Listen, if you're a Laker fan, you should not be roasting your own players, especially none of the players that brought you a championship. That's when I start questioning you a little bit, man. So listen, he's on our team. I'll leave all those jokes, those injury jokes for the amateurs and all that. I get sometimes it's funny and stuff like that. Some of them are really creative, I understand. But to me, it's never really funny to joke about injuries or wishing injuries on people, man, because, there are players especially, man, on anybody, really. Jose says, Dan, I'm excited for this year. Win or lose, we here. We definitely here, baby. And I like that energy. Keep that energy. Keep them spirits up. I think this team has the potential to surprise a couple of folks. Now, every year I tell you guys, when I hit the reset button, new expectations, new season, new glory, new stories. And I'm here, man. Hopefully the Lakers get real gory. Listen, man, every year is a different chapter. And as a diehard Laker fan, I ain't going anywhere. I was here when we were winning 16 games. I'll be here when we win 60. You understand? So we here, baby. We here. And again, I can't wait to go there. I'll be there at Staples with my boy Mook. So shout out to Mook for the tickets again. Max says Dtlf for AD success this season. Russ cannot start, or at least until LeBron is resting. You know what, man? I really hope that coach gives everybody an equal opportunity and somebody else steps up and gets that starting job, especially somebody who can floor space. People say Kendrick Nunn. I wouldn't mind him. People say Patrick Beverley because of his defense and his high percentage from the 3-point line. I would not mind him. Somebody even said LeBron at the point guard. I mean, if Coach Ham puts LeBron at the point guard, then what is the use of all these other guards, right? That's the only thing. But I like coaches that are gutsy and that they do controversial things. And that's what I would love to see Darvin mix it up. Tasia says, I really want Cole to get minutes. That guy can shoot. And you know what? Tasia, if that continues to translate, there's going to be no way they can keep that man off the court. Only he could keep himself off the court if he becomes a streaky guy and he plays no defense. But outside of that, if he continues to improve his defense, lateral movement, gets stronger, right? Because he was getting bullied in summer league in the paint as well. He gets stronger, his defensive IQ increases, and all of that. I think the shooting is always going to be there for a player like that. I mean, he looks phenomenal, even in just clips, and he was probably the best shooter of the entire summer league. Somebody fact check that? But did anybody shoot a higher percentage from beyond the arc at a higher clip than Cole Swider? I think not. Right, this dude was out here killing, man. He shot close to 50% from beyond the arc on a pretty good sample size. So I look forward to seeing how that translates to the league, and maybe LeBron James got his shooter right there. But who knows? It's still early to tell. I don't want to put too many expectations on him because he is a rookie. And you know what a lot of Laker fans do to rookies who don't live up to expectations, right? They start trying to chase him out of town. Or even young players. We've seen it with THT. We've seen it with Kuz before. We even saw with Brandon Ingram when he first got drafted. People were calling him bust on his rookie season. So I'm like, come on, guys, get your knowledge up. We got to be very patient with these young guys, especially the undrafted ones. Yamato, what's up, brother? He said, hey, Dan, much love from Japan. Shout out Japan. He said, this is the best Laker channel on all of YouTube. I appreciate your insight and knowledge of the game of basketball. We miss Malik Monk, who will be our third option now. And that's the question that I think we're going to have to wait to answer, Yamato. But thanks so much for the kind words. Look, man, third option, I wish it was Russ. But if he has a similar season to last year, it's going to have to be somebody else, okay? It's going to have to be either Patrick Beverley with his defense, setting the tone, or it's going to have to be, maybe Kendrick Nunn off the bench or somebody like that. I have no idea who our third player is going to be. I would also love it if it's a big man like Thomas Bryant. That would be phenomenal because now you have efficiency from two of your big man positions. And I think it's all about efficiency. Whenever you have two big men who can put the ball in the hole, I think what happens is all of a sudden your field goal percentage throughout the course of the game increases. You start playing, instead of settling for 3-pointers and stuff like that, you start trusting your teammates, going down low, playing more pick and roll, some more cutting to the basket, backdoor screen action. We start getting different sorts of sets that benefit the higher percentage, which I think, listen, the 3-point shot is nice when you hit it. But last year, one of my biggest criticisms, we were like 7 for like 45, and we continue to shoot. You can't have that this year. We got to take smart shots. We got to be very poised on the defensive end, and we got to make sure that we finish those transition buckets with a high efficiency rate, which means most of the times at the basket. All right, the traditional way of finishing transition breaks. And listen, there's a new rule that I think is going to benefit this much younger team. That's the take foul rule. And for those of you that been sleeping under a rock or whatever, living under a rock, this NBA rule that's going to be implemented starting this season, starting in preseason, basically you cannot stop any sort of transition, or they're going to get one free throw in the ball back. I think it's one, right? If I'm not mistaken. That is amazing because LeBron is a transition beast. Anthony Davis likes to get out and run. We know about Russell Westbrook's speed. Dennis Schroeder is another guy who gets out there. Lonnie Walker's a speed demon. Juan Toscano Anderson can slash. So if we get defensive stops early, we can get down the floor and put the pressure on the defense. They're going to have to be forced to play real defense, not take fouls to stop momentum. That is going to, hopefully, if they implement it right, because sometimes they change a rule and they don't implement it, or they miss calls conveniently against the Lakers. But if they implement this rule right, expect to see a lot of improvement from a fast-breaking team potentially like the Lakers. So that'll be great. That'll be great, man. Dan, Sam Presti will probably Mo Harkless. Maybe we should pick him up. Listen, this is something I got to tell you. Benaya. Sam Presti might trade Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And again, shout out to Tyra. This is something she mentioned, and I didn't think it was in the realm of possibility. And I know we don't need another guard. I understand that. But what if? What if the Lakers pull something off there? Because I like him. He's somebody who he would basically be our solution at the point guard for years to come. All right. Borderline all-star every year. Two-way player. Can knock down shots, get hot. He cooked the Lakers last year. We lost to the Thunder last year. That by itself is a fireable offense for the whole coaching staff. But we lost to the Thunder last year because of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So, again, I've been telling you guys, it's not good to just throw away the picks. A lot of people were so desperate for us to make any trade. It's not good because if an opportunity like this surfaces, we know Sam Presti is, he's the king of stacking draft picks, lottery picks, right? So, or first-round picks, should I say. If that opportunity presents itself, man, I don't care if we got 20 guards. I'm going for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's your third star right there. But listen, you could also offload a bunch of guards in that trade, including Russell Westbrook, right? So at the end of the day, it would be a great addition and a subtraction, and I think it would be an opportunity. Now, I'm not saying we're even going to pursue a trade like that, but I'm just saying it's good to have options, Hell no on SGA. Why not? Give me one reason why not, brother. I would like to know why not. Why not on SGA? Why is it hell no when the dude is a borderline all-star? If we get SGA, that is your solution for point guard for the next 5 to 10 years. And we were leading by 30 that game. I remember for sure. Who here would not like for us to trade for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? I don't know too many. That's news to me. He said hell no as if he was a scrub. So I would like to know your reasoning behind that. But look, this is just an example of why I think we should hold on to those picks to the right trade surfaces. Y'all not even able to get SGA. We don't know that. He said too many free agents next year to settle. Settle on SGA? Come on, bro. SGA is a beast. That is not a settle thing, man. He's slow. Now I start questioning if y'all ever seen this man play. He's not slow. He's a shifty guard and very crafty, and he changes tempo and pace, but he's not slow. He can get to the basket with the best of them. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Listen, I never heard settle. SGA, borderline all-star, man. He would be one of the future pieces of this franchise moving forward. That would be crazy. He said the satisfaction I would get from a trade for SGA is seeing those Flipper fans cry babies because we know how much they loved SGA. They still made a mistake in trading for Paul George. They haven't won a championship for it, and they mortgaged their future. But hey, don't let me tell them anything about it. And it's funny If the Lakers hadn't won that 2020 championship, they would have called the Anthony Davis trade a fail, and some idiots still call it a failed trade. But nobody is talking about Paul George for SGA and all the draft picks that the Thunder stacked up. So shout out to the Thunder, man, for winning that trade so far, right? He said, watch us go for Wiggins next season. That wouldn't be bad either, to be honest with you. Wiggins is really came into his own. He's kind of like a Trevor Ariza type. You know, if you pay close attention to Wiggins, he's not an all-star or a superstar. Even though he did make the all-star team, that's not something you can expect from him every year. But he's definitely somebody who, you know, he plays his role really well, and he makes an impact. We saw it in the playoffs on the biggest stage. So I'd be sold on Andrew Wiggins. I don't understand why the negativity towards players like that, you know. But of course, Shai or like a Kyrie Irving or somebody like that would be phenomenal. But again, it's gonna be options in free agency, man, next year. So maybe they keep the cap and they hold on to the draft picks. I don't know. But these are just examples, man. These are just examples that I'm giving you guys on why we shouldn't just give away those picks for role players. And I'm glad we didn't do it with Utah, because Utah was trying to fleece us. And then they turn around and they trade, you know, Bojan Bogdanovic and God knows what for, you know, for Kelly Olynyk and who knows who. So again, that's usually how it goes. That Laker tax is real. Don't let the haters tell you otherwise. And it's all good though, baby, because we got this season. I look forward to breaking it down, guys. Make sure to subscribe, like, and hit that post notification bell if you already haven't. I will be live tomorrow for Around the League, and we got some stuff to talk about. So make sure you tap in tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific. I might go earlier, depends, but I will announce it for sure. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. That's gonna wrap it up for me. Again, shout out to my sponsor, Prize Picks, and definitely take me up on our offer if you guys like daily fantasy sports. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day. Peace.